This is the fern that was damaged in that freeze that we had about a week or so ago. So it's only half of it. So my thing is I'm going to cut those bad ferns away. I used a plastic garbage bag to cover it. I ran out of frost blankets. So I used what I had. And I thought it would be okay to just cover it in a plastic garbage bag. And there was other things that I covered that way, and they survived. But where these two, there's two of them, where these two ferns were located was on the side of the house. And I feel like it just wasn't as protected and shielded from the cold, even with this huge garbage bag over it. And that's why you see the damage here. But I honestly feel if I cut this away, we'll be good. And it'll regrow. So that's what I'm doing. It's going to be covered again. But this time I'm ready. Took me a little trip to Home Depot. To the Home Depot. And got me some more frost blankets. So I think we'll be okay. I have four, the four front porch ferns. I want to show you something. If you can see, I don't think it's a good angle, but if it was up on the stand, let's see if I can do that. I have my knee brace on. This knee, I have problems with both knees. My shoulder, my back, all of that. I've talked about that before, that I suffer with arthritis in these areas, so the cold aggravates it. So I try to stay inside, but I have to come outside because I just have a few days of good weather to work in, to prepare for the inclement weather that's coming. Supposedly, it might snow on, I want to say, the bad days will be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, especially Wednesday. There might be snow in Louisiana. So I'm just going to make sure that on these nice days, because it's mild today, I am working to get everything prepared. So when the closer it comes to those days where it's going to be bitterly cold, I won't have to come outside. Everything will be ready to go. I make sure that I have all the frost blankets. I am cutting away foliage, old foliage like this. And even in the garden, I was just over there in the garden, and I was cutting away some of the lanky old foliage that was on the, what was I looking at? I was by the kale and the Swiss chard. The Swiss chard. So I was over there just kind of, and that's stuff that I just planted. But I want to make sure that these are nice and trimmed, and then cover it with whatever protection I'm going to use. I think even though it survived that light frost we had, this may be a little different. This is close to a very hard freeze. I don't have the room. I do not have a covered garage or a closed-in garage, so I don't have a place to put all these plants. So I got to do what I can, which will be just covering it with frost blankets and protecting it from the elements that way. So, like I said, normally I am not out here in this type of weather because my body just can't handle it. It really does. When you have arthritis, inflammation of the joints, basically too much heat or cold will aggravate it. So my knee right now is screaming. That's why I have the brace on. But see, there's things I have to do. So I got to keep moving. So because I have to go back and forth and take my son to work, even though he's learning how to drive. He is not a licensed driver yet, so I have to be his little chauffeur until he gets his license. He has his learner's permit. And he does the driving, but he cannot drive without me in the car. So I let him drive so he can get as much practice as possible so he can get his license in a couple months. I say sometime in spring he'll be able to get his license. He'll take the road test and get his license. So I'm proud of him. But that's one thing. I have to keep going. I have to keep moving. So even when I'm achy and not feeling all that well, I keep moving. Plus, I don't want my garden that I started, I don't want that to go bad. So I come out and I work in the garden also. That's something I like to do. But I'm not even thinking about the fact that this could be crawling with insects. Something that may jump on me. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is looking better already. I think I've cut it down enough. After I'm finished, I know this is a bad spot, so you may not be able to see, but it was only half of the fern. This part is actually, if I turn it a little more, you see that this is actually still green and healthy. There's no way in the world I was going to just throw this plant away because it's still a healthy plant. It just had some bad leaves here of fronds, and I'm getting rid of these. And hopefully we'll have lots of new regrowth, and it'll regrow in the spring nice and healthy. So I'm going to go move on to the next plant. I just want to get rid of this ugliness. So here's the other one. This is the smallest. This is the runt of the bunch. And as you can see, I put it on the little coasters, so it's fine. Casters, I think it's called. But as you can see, this part is nice, and this part over here is what was damaged by the frost. So I'm gonna do the same thing I did with that plant. Just cut these fronds off. Trying to work quickly because while the weather is nice and mild and not horribly cold, rain will be coming in later on tonight. So I'm trying to do as much as I possibly can. I also want to go ahead and whatever is in the greenhouse, the outside greenhouse, I will be moving that inside. I have a little inside greenhouse with grow lights that I'm going to do an unboxing of that, put that together. And I have those seedlings that I'm growing inside they're already inside the house, but they're just basically like in the kitchen area near the the window, and they're growing like crazy. I can't believe those seedlings are growing so fast. But think about it. It's in the house. It is 75 degrees in the house. My husband keeps it at 75. And so it's the perfect conditions. And there I am every morning. I get up and I check them to see how they're doing. And I give them a little spritz if need be. It's perfect conditions. It's like the perfect greenhouse. And I started them from seed right inside the house. So they're inside, they're happy. They are happy. So what is in the greenhouse now, in the outside greenhouse, that's going to be brought inside. So what I will have to do is spray those down real good with some type of insecticide or pesticide, something natural, like I have my Maggie's Farm, and I've showed you that before. I sprayed with that, or I sprayed with the neem oil, hit it with that before I bring it inside the house, because I don't want to, bring any insects inside. So I'm going to do that. But I have a nice little inside greenhouse, indoors greenhouse, that has grow lights. So, okay. I'll be unboxing that and putting that together, and that's something I can do inside in the comfort of my home, and because being out here too long is not good for me. It's just not. I try to stay out of this weather. Look, it looks bad, but watch, come spring, I have a feeling it's going to bounce back and look terrific. So I'm glad we still have this. I'm glad I still have this and just this little part over here, because I could have totally lost them. And there's still a possibility that I may lose them because this weather is coming up. And let's hope that these blankets, I'll show you what I purchased. I got these. These are blankets, but it's this 6-foot round blanket. So I know I've shown you those real long frost blankets. It's called a blanket. I am saying blanket. That's the name brand of this frost blanket that I get from Home Depot. And the quality of it, nice and thick. This is also a blanket, but it's the 6-foot round. And I got these to go over. I'll show you. The ferns. So each little fern will have its own little hut. I'm not going to do it just yet, but I'm ready. I have my frost blankets for the ferns. I have 4 of them. There's a drawstring. Here it is. See this little drawstring? Okay. So when the time comes, you just cinch this in, draw it in like this, and it gathers around the entire plant. And let's hope this works, okay? And fingers crossed, because it's going to be really cold. It survived before, so it shouldn't be any different. And now that these two are not on the side of the house, like I said, I feel like it was more exposed being from up under the front porch. But the 2 that was under the front porch, totally fine. Those 2 that was on the side of the house, not so much. You saw the damage. So now that they're going to be actually under the front porch again and covered with these, better quality blankets, right? This is what these are designed for frost, in extreme temperatures like that, extreme cold temperatures. Okay, so I'm not going to cover it now. I'm going to let it benefit from as much sunlight and all of that until it's time, and then I will cover them. But I'm ready. That's the whole thing. I'm preparing. All right. Okay. It's time to move into the backyard and work on the garden. I'll come a little closer so you can hear me. So what I'm doing is I'm trimming any leaves. Now, you see I got out the bell cloches again. Now, the bell cloches are going to work perfectly on the cabbages. No problem whatsoever. They can stay on right now. I don't have to wait until the bad weather comes. They're translucent, of course, and they have the little air holes. So this is something that can protect the plant right now. So I'm going to go ahead. These are still small enough to cover with all the bell cloches. These are too big, but I have something for this. So I'm going to cover right now, and then when the bad weather comes, I'm going to take the big frost blanket and cover up the entire raised bed. Now, I have these 2 containers. I'm sorry, 4. I have the collards that are in here, and I have the mustards that are in here. I still want to protect those. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut back the leaves, right? Give them a little trim. When you harvest from these, it's a cut and come again. Cut and come again. So when I cut from these, it's just going to encourage the plant to grow more. No problem. So I'm going to cut them down so they'll fit inside there's a frame that I have. There's a greenhouse frame that I'm actually going to cover with frost blanket material, and I will so that way I'll have one large frost blanket over this, and whatever else I can bring over to this area. So like those smaller plants over here, or maybe I can just put it right in this area. But these 4 containers with the mustards and the collards will have their own little space over there, and I will show you the frame that I have. Uh, if you remember, I know you don't, but I bought these little mini greenhouse covers. I have about 4 of them, and you can use them with insect netting, or in this case, I'll be using it with frost blanket, frost material, um, to cover these containers. These containers fit inside the frame of this greenhouse cover, and I'm going to show you that right now. But I'm going to place them back over there where they were, and this is just temporary. These little containers being over in that area over there is temporary because I don't know if I told you, but I got a second L-shaped raised bed. My husband bought me one because he loves the raised beds. These are by Vajiga. Okay, you guys? These raised beds are by Vajiga. These 2 over here that I started with, that's another company, a very good company, which is Vego. And that's when I got my feet wet with these, and I began to like working with raised beds. So when I was in the market for more, I saw these L-shaped raised beds by Vajiga, and I loved it. I love this vibrant orange color. My husband bought me a second one to go right over here, and it's inside the house. I'll do the unboxing and assembly of that later on, early spring when the weather permits me, but we'll see. Unless the weather clears up and we have a really nice day, I don't intend to work on any raised beds, not right now. I think it'll be perfect for the spring, maybe sometime maybe in February, maybe early March. You never know. Then I'll go ahead and unbox that and put that together. But we'll see. If the weather permits, I'll do that. But for now, I'm going to take these 4 containers and place them back over in that area, and I'm going to cover them with these frames and cover them in the frost blanket material. So that's one thing I'll be doing. See, but I will cut them back so they can fit neatly inside the frame. And that's what I did over here with the Swiss chard. With this, it's too big to go under a belle cloche, so this will be covered with something else, plus the large frost blanket. So I have a plan, you guys. I have a plan. Okay. So I move those 2 containers, collards, the mustards. So I already put the frame around the mustards, but these I believe need to be cut back first before I put the frame over. So I'm gonna get my scissors and get started. I tell you, all that good material that's gonna go in the bottom of the raised bed, I tell you, it's gonna be plenty. Wow. There's so much going on. I wish you could see down in here. You can see where there's new growth already. In between each leaf, there's more growing. Wow. Okay. So yeah. And these plants I had problems with insects like crazy. They love collards just as much as we do. They love collards. Okay. So I'm cutting bottom leaves, trying to, leaving those top leaves. Because like I said, this is just so I can cover them and protect them from the frost that's coming. So yeah, I'm just trying to get the leaves that are kind of overflowing outside of the container here. Looks like it's let's see if it'll fit now. I'm moving in slow motion, I'll tell you that. But I'm gonna get it done. I am moving in slow motion. I hid out in the house for several days trying to stay out of this cold weather. But there was times when I had to go out. I told you that. Okay. Oh. Because it was things that I had to do. But other than that, I try to just stay inside and find things to do inside the house. Okay. Let's see if I can get this over here. Come on. I got some of it. I'm breaking in the limbs. Trying my best not to. I think I got it. There we go. Ta-ta! Perfect. Got a new container of neem oil. And the spray bottle is battery operated. So I took it inside to Tony, my husband, like, could you put this together for me? I didn't want to stop and sit there and fiddle with that. So I took it inside to him. He's good at those kind of things. So let him put that together for me. Basically, the batteries come with it. It's a huge bottle of neem max, which is cold pressed neem oil. And it has a battery operated spray a nozzle to it. So I took it inside to him and let him work on that in the comfort in the warm house while I finished what I'm doing out here. I just didn't have time to stop and fill with something as little as that when I need to be doing the bigger stuff, because I want to get done and inside. Like I said, this is all prep for next week. I have to work on days when it's nice out. If it was too cold, I couldn't be out here. I can't stay out here long. The knee would be so bad that I could barely walk. No joke. So I have to come out and work when the weather permits. When it's not too cold and wet and yucky, because it aggravates my the arthritis. And I try to do as much as I can, and it works, trust me. With everything that I do, I don't care if it's housework or whatever, if I can just do a little at a time, I accomplish so much in just segments almost. So it's like I come out, and if I have already trimmed the plants and watered them, and then the next time I'm able to get out here, then you see the results of what I've already done, the work that I've already done. You see the benefits from that. And then I can add on and do something else and then something else. But I just have to do it a little at a time. I can't be overwhelmed, because then it's not a joy anymore. You know, it's not a joy. Then it becomes a chore that is not, I mean, there's chores, like I always call them garden chores, but there's some chores that we do not like, you know, and that are tedious and you just don't like them. So, but working in a garden is a good chore. You enjoy that, but there's some things that are just, you know. So, but this is one of the things I like, is actually trimming and harvesting and fertilizing. Those things, that's all a part of gardening. But sometimes you gotta push through the stuff that you really don't like to get to the fun stuff. And I think when I look around and I see a well-maintained garden, even though it's not perfect the way I envisioned it in my head, is something from a gardening magazine. It's what I want, you know. But it takes a lot of manpower to get that, and I don't have the manpower to get it in perfect, you know, condition. But I think I do enough. I put in enough work that it is nice and neat, only with just me and these little hands. With these little hands that God gave me, I think I do a good job, and I am out here growing my own food and enjoying it. So I'm going to get the covers for this, just to try it out and see how it's going to work. So let me do that. Just one moment. So basically, the same material. This is just a large, I want to say this is a 10 by 20 frost blanket. It's not the blanket. It's, you can tell it's a different material, but it's a legitimate frost blanket. I got this from Lowe's. I can only find the blanket at Home Depot. This is a brand, I don't even remember the name of it, that Lowe's carries. But what I'm thinking of doing is, it's quite large. Either one bic, which is a good idea. Oh, bug. Kill. Look out. So I'm thinking of just basically, with the wind blowing, it's tough. So pretty much you have to tack one side down or stake one side down so it can hold it in place while you're draping the fabric. So look, I learned that the hard way. I was out here playing, just wind tossing it all over the place. You know, the wind was making a monkey out of me. Just making a monkey out of me. Had me running around. So, but I'm just basically just testing to see if it would work. And I know it will. I think it will. So, two ways I can do it. I think it looks like it's big enough. Let me be totally honest. This does not look like a 10 by 20. Definitely the other one is. This doesn't quite look like a 10 by 20. It may be shorter than that. But just to give you an idea of what I'm going to do, I'm just basically going to make a little tunnel. Alright? And it looks like it could be a 10 by 20. And it's going to cover it completely. See, so there we have it. This is going to be completely covered by this. The frame is going to keep it, just make a little dome, a tunnel. And I'm going to stake it down or tuck it under and make sure there's no cold wind can get through. I think it's going to work. It's breathable. Things like that, all that matters. You know what? It's not exactly, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make it happen. Because this part needs to be closed off here. We'll see. If I have to get a larger one, I have time. I have time. So this one, I don't think it's big enough to cover this. I would like a lot more coverage because I need to be able to tuck it so wind can't blow underneath it, because I mean that can do some damage. So I'm thinking of using this on my banana plants. I have an idea what to do with them. I'll take you over there and let you see what I did with the banana plants. And also that's something to show you. So, but this, I think this blanket will probably be used on the banana plants because I have a little thing I'm going to do with them. And I'll get another larger blanket for this one. Okay. But see how it's good to try things out. It's good to try things out to make sure it works. So let's go over to the side of the house to see the banana plants. Okay. So I think I'm getting a lot done, right? If you can't do a lot, do a little, right? Okay. All right. It's going to look super dramatic. I know. All the leaves are gone. I'm hoping these plants are still alive. They suffered a great deal during the past few weeks. These plants have caught hail. It has been pouring down rain, ice cold rain, a light frost. It's endured a lot. So, but I'm hoping they're still alive. So what I want to do is I'm going to group them all together. You turn this way. I'm going to group them against the fence right over there. All 4 of them. And then I'm going to take that frost blanket that we were just looking at, and I'm going to cover all of them. But what I did is I got rid of those ugly dead leaves. I trimmed back the leaves, and let's hope that it's still alive, the roots are still alive, and come this spring, it will regrow. Okay? Even the little pups, look, see these little pups here? Even they suffer. Okay? And basically the pups, they're suckers. You call them the little babies. I call them the babies, but they're basically suckers. Just like you have suckers on a tomato plant. That's what the pups are. They're suckers. Okay, but it's a new plant starting. So there's 2 babies in there, or 2 pups. I call them babies. So let's hope they will survive. So I'm just gonna take them and I'm gonna place them against the wall, that fence over there, and group them together and cover them. Matter of fact, I can probably do that now. I'm not gonna even wait for the bad weather. They look so bad right now. They probably need to be covered, but I just got rid of those ugly leaves. So they look like they've had it, but I have a feeling they will bounce back. Okay? Just wanted to show you these. These are my tomato plants. These are Celebrity Plus tomato plants. Now these, I didn't start these from seed. Oh my God, my knees. I didn't start these from seed. These were actual transplants that I bought from the store. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them inside. I'm going to place them in my inside greenhouse. But what I'm going to do now is go ahead and spray them with the Maggie's Farm or the neem oil and let them sit out here before I take them inside later on. So I'm going to go ahead and spray them now, treat them now. There's other plants in there too. I had a cucumber plant, a Dasher 2 cucumber plant in there. It didn't make it. It just looked like it wasn't getting enough sun. And cucumber plants do not like the cold, period. So it wasn't happy. So it didn't make it. But that's okay, because I have started seeds. I've dropped seeds for cucumbers in the house, so that's gonna be fine. And so what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and spray these now. So treat them now before they go in the house. That's what I'm doing. So let's see here. Okay. Meanwhile, while I was out here tending to the plants, Tony got my little sprayer together for me. You actually have to put the batteries in this part of it. You unlock it. Okay. Let's see here. Gotta prime it. It's gonna come out. I think it's open. Hold up. He put the little thing in for me and everything. There you go, Tony. There we go. Did you see that? All right. So I'm just going to spray. You want to drench the soil, and also you can hit the leaves too. But I want to make sure everything is treated before I bring it into the house. These are I have Hales, cantaloupe seeds, and also I have the national pickling cucumbers out here. Okay. But I just want to make sure everything is sprayed before I take it inside. So I'm going to let this sit. I wanted to do it. I'm taking it inside today. I wanted to do it and let it sit a while. There we go. Even if I don't get them inside today, they're going to be okay. But at least they've been treated. I'm going to let the neem oil do its thing. And then if I don't take it inside today, definitely tomorrow they will come inside the house. But I wanted to go ahead and just get them treated now. So we're done. There's not much in the greenhouse. Not much in there. Okay, all right, what I decided to do is, since I treated the greenhouse, the plants in the greenhouse, I thought about it. I'm treating those to kill off any bugs before I bring them inside the house. But I thought about the fact that there's bugs and insects on these plants that are outside. And once I want to go ahead and kill off any insects or bugs now, because pretty soon they're going to be covered for a long time. It may be covered for several days, and I don't want to trap the bugs inside under the frost cloth. So basically, or the frost blanket, I want to treat them first, let the neem oil do its thing, and then when the time comes, I'm going to come out here and cover them. And I just drenched it with the neem oil. Did as thorough job as I could, and I tried to get the soil also. I tried to get the soil and the leaves underneath the leaves. So, and now when the time comes, I'm going to cover the plants with the frost blanket, but kill the bugs first. You don't want to just lock them under there with the plant. They'll be in there just eating away, nice and warm and toasty and eating away at my plant. Think about it. So that's why I decided to do that. Pretty much, I'm going to do a lot more cleanup, just a little cleaning up. I think I have all the material that I need. I have all the coverings and frost blankets. So I have them in place. All I need to do is when the time comes, which would probably be either Sunday or Monday, that's when I'm going to come out here and I have everything ready and just throw the frost blankets over everything. But I want to make sure that everything fits, because I don't want to be running out at the last minute trying to buy frost blankets. I want to make sure I have enough to cover everything. So that's what I tried to do today. I ran out to Home Depot and I got 4 more for the ferns up front, and the ones that I already have here at the house that I used during that light frost we had. Gonna go ahead and cover these the stuff that's in the garden now, and just pray for the best. What they say, prepare for the worst and pray for the best. So hopefully the garden will survive this weather that's coming in. So I'm just going to go ahead and sign off now. Thank you guys for joining me in the Joy Garden today. I think I got a lot done. I feel like I accomplished something. Just with the trimming of the fronds on those two ferns, finally moving them back under the front porch where they belong, treating the garden here. I'm telling you, just the little trimming that I did to that Swiss char over there, it's you see the leaves perk up. Sometimes when you have these old leaves hanging there, I feel like it's robbing nutrients and energy from the rest of the plant. So when you do a little quick trim, you'll notice that the plants will perk up. Think about that, okay? And also, before I cover them, I decided to do a trim. The less you have to cover, just like before when the light freeze came, I did a harvest. I harvested all of this. Everything, the broccoli and all that. The broccoli was done. Those cabbages was done, and I harvested all this the celery. The less you have to cover. I mean, I brought it inside, and it's in the house. That's how I prepare. So I want to make sure everything is straight before I have to cover it, because it may be covered for several days. If you look back at my videos during the light freeze, it was 3 days that I kept them covered and protected. And then finally I was able to reclaim my garden and take off the frost cloth. So here we go again, round 2, and I'm ready. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. Thank you for joining me. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Bye now.